How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Mitchell Trubisky broke his silence today in a press conference and in episode number 48 of Uncut. We're going to be breaking down everything that Mitch had to say right before the start of training camp. Welcome back to the show, guys. I would like to say the grind to 1.7k subs is on, so if you are new to the channel and you want new Bears content every day of the week, do us a favor, click that red button to subscribe. Also, click the bell for notifications when we post. And if you are welcoming yourself back to the channel, do us a favor and like the video as well. I am your host, Chris and today I am joined with Trubisky Nation himself, also my co-host, Parth Shaw. Parth, how's it going today? How did it feel to hear your quarterback speak for the first time in months today?
It was nice, I just actually tuned into it on YouTube. Felt good to see him out there again, He looked confident, but we'll talk about it more right now.
Yeah, so Mitch didn't have much to say today, but obviously, there were a couple of pressing questions, I guess, that people needed to ask. So let's just hop right into it. So the first question that was really asked to Mitchell Trubisky today was basically, what were your thoughts when the Bears traded for Nick Foles? And Trubisky had an interesting answer, and it's an answer that I'm pretty sure many of us, expected. Mitch said, it was kind of interesting to me. That's the business that we're in. I think I was kind of pissed off in a good way. I've been motivated ever since. So Parth, Mitch seems pretty angry, but also pretty confident. He did go on to later say he's still going to play his heart and soul out for this team. And he also said that he still feels like the Bears is his team. So that's a little bit confident if you ask me, but I want to ask you, he seems pretty angry. He also sounds confident. He's always been confident in the past, or at least has come out that way. So do you give him a shot in this competition starting soon?
Yeah, I think it's his job to lose, in my opinion. With how the things are going through the COVID virus and stuff, we haven't had much. Nick Foles hasn't had any practice with any of our players yet, so Trubisky's had that upper hand. He's been working out with Allen Robinson, Tariq Cohen, Demetrius Harris, and all these other guys. So he definitely has the upper hand in the competition, and as long as he can stay confident, that's the thing. So a lot of times he appears confident on the outside, but on the inside I feel like he's torn apart, he's thinking too much. So that's where his struggle is, and he needs to stop thinking too much, because we've seen him play really well in those 2-minute situations when he's not thinking as much.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with you. Mitch has been a player who's been in his head throughout his time in Chicago. It's been a little bit more mental for him than I think a lot of us think. That being said, I got to give him a shot in this competition, because if he can go back to his 2018 ways, we've said it so many times on this show in the past, he's going to have a chance to win the job. Obviously, let's see how this offseason plays out with Nick Foles. You bring up a good point that he hasn't had a chance to work with anyone yet that we know of. But, yeah, Mitch has been working hard this offseason. You definitely have to give him a shot in this competition. So another thing that Mitch said, that he was asked about his fifth-year option, and he actually said an answer that I didn't expect to hear, but he did say it. He said, it wasn't really a surprise to me when my option wasn't picked up. I felt like I had it coming. I felt like the way I played didn't merit that. I am going to earn my next contract here soon. So that's also, Mitch being pretty confident. I mentioned earlier, he said he's going to play his heart and soul out for this team, whether it's on the bench or starting. Obviously, I think we all agreed earlier on this question, but I'm going to ask it again. Parth, do you think it was the right choice that the Bears made turning down Mitchell's fifth-year option?
Yeah, he said it himself that he wasn't surprised to see it happen, and he also said if he put himself into the Brian Pace's shoes, then he would have declined his own option himself. So he knew it was coming. He did not play well last year due to any circumstances. Whether there was everything was going on, but we saw it coming.
Yeah, we absolutely saw it coming, and it did come. Finally, one more thing that he said, there's not a ton that he said. I'm pretty sure they wanted to keep it pretty short and concise, as is. Mitch has always been one to answer the media, but this offseason he's taken a lot of scrutiny, and obviously a lot has happened around him. It's going to be an interesting fourth season for him. But, one thing that he did say is that it's still his team. And I think, Parth, we can both agree that in regards to his standing on the Chicago Bears. It has never been shakier than now. I think Mitch is on very, very thin ice, especially if he can't perform early on once this competition starts. And if the offseason is shortened, a lot of people are saying it could help him. But if Foles comes in and does play well and does gain chemistry with the receivers, it also could hurt Mitch because he's going to have a short amount of time to prove himself. That being said, I want to ask you, are you surprised that Mitch still thinks this is his team? Because I think a lot of people would disagree with that and say that it may still be his team, but not entirely if he messes up. So I want to ask you, are you surprised that he came out and said that it's his team?
I'm not surprised that he said that, especially because of all the praise he's getting from his teammates. One thing that his teammates love him. We haven't seen anyone say anything bad about him like that in public, especially. They all say he's the leader. He's the guy we follow. He's the one who texts the group chats, he's the one who texts them personally to start working out and stuff. So he is a leader in that way. But you can't be a leader if you're not good. So that's what I'm gonna say. So if he wants to become that leader for the whole entire team, he needs to start playing better.
Yeah, I agree with you. I am a little bit surprised that Mitch still thinks it's his team, but that being said, he's just saying that to the media. At the end of the day, he does need to perform. If he wants to hold himself to that value and he really wants it to be his team, he needs to come out and be the starting quarterback, and not only that, but he needs to play well. So that's pretty much going to do it for us in episode number 48 of Uncut. We reacted to a few things that Mitchell Trubisky said today during his press conference, the first time he's spoken in months. We broke down his reaction to Nick Foles trade. Basically, he said exactly what we expected, It was a pretty mature press conference by Mitch. And now it is time to turn our eyes towards the training camp competition. If you want more competition, if you want more content from us, do us a favor, head over to our website, bearddown.com. You can find more content from us there. We're posting columns, articles, and blogs about every day of the week. If you are on Twitter and Instagram, you can find the podcast on both platforms at Beared Down. And if you are on Instagram, you can also find the links to our social media fan pages down in the description. Those are some great follows as well. We're pretty much nearing training camp now, Parth. Obviously, things are getting slowed down a bit by this coronavirus, but it seems like that's the next thing. It's finally time to, I guess, put down the microphones and start putting the pads on. So how excited are you for training camp? Any last words?
Training camp, I'm super excited. We got the quarterback competition. We got a couple competition at wide receiver spots, cornerback spots, safety spots, everywhere, offensive line. So there's just a lot. We just do not know what the starting lineup could look like at this point, and it's nice that way because there's a lot of uncertainty, but this team's going to be great this year, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any chance that fans are allowed at training camp. But that being said, here we go, boys. Trubisky versus Foles. I feel like we're entering like a UFC fight or something, like a heavyweight battle for the title. But it should be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. And I guess we're going to have to just see how it plays out. Mitch is confident. Foles is confident. Foles has said in the past that he's here to win the job. And now they are going to go head-to-head. Thank you guys for tuning in once again to this episode of Uncut. I am your host, Chris Maltby. It has been an absolute pleasure. Bears fans, do us a favor. Continue to stay safe. And as always, bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.